Hi everybody, it's great to be here at the Ticketing Business Forum virtually if no other way is possible, but and anyway, it's great to be here. By now, I hope that you're convinced that if you're in the live entertainment business, you should be doing online events as a serious undertaking. Since you really can't do in-person events anyway, now is a great time to learn how to get good at online events, because this is a big opportunity and the strategic value of online events will continue and even grow after the pandemic is over. So let's talk about how to make your online events as successful as possible as soon as possible. There are 5 things I consider to be my big 5 for online event success. Before I get into those, I want to keep this in mind. I want you to keep this in mind. If you're new to online events, your first efforts are going to feel a little experimental, maybe even a little awkward, but it's part of a learning process. So if you follow the big 5, you can, even in this early stage, avoid some of the pitfalls and improve your odds of real success right away and in the future too. Okay, and with that, here are my big 5 for online event success. 1, base your show on an act or a title with a built-in following. You don't need a megastar, but it helps a lot to have a performer or a show that's got people that already care. Social media followings are important, not just because they're target audiences for selling tickets, but because they give you a kind of a formula for your marketing plan, which we'll talk about a little later too. Now notice that I said an act or a title with the following. I didn't say an act or a title that have a big name. Those seem similar, but they're not one and the same. There are big names, for example, well-known names with very little in the way of an active fan base or people that can be directly reached through that artist or that celebrity or whatever. On the other hand, there are shows and there are people with very little in the way of broad-based name recognition that have a lot of power within the niche of their admirers and fans. Now, obviously, if you have both, if you're very well known and you have an active fan base, that's the best combination, but this may not often be possible. But if you're asking if it's possible to succeed without an existing base, the answer is yes. If the event intrigues enough people and the word gets out, absolutely. It's just a colder start, and since what we're trying to do right now is maximize your chances here, so if you can, build your show around an act or title with a built-in following. Okay, number 2. In the show itself, create high production value per dollar. Quality matters, and that's not just about the budget. The show needs to have impact artistically and really be something worth watching, period. There aren't any special rules or exceptions that the patron or fan will make just because it's an online event. It still has to be exciting, right? It still has to be engaging. It still has to be written well, performed well, and delivered well. It's a show, after all. Now, some of the earliest online events were extremely casual, thrown together things on webcams, minimally thought through. Now, in your mind, everyone can remember those, right? But I want you to sever the connection between those early online events, those sort of March or April 2020 online events, and what you're going to produce, right? Go ahead, do it right now. Just imagine those events and the online events you're going to create, and if there's a cord connecting them, I want you to just cut it, right? Because what you're going to produce is not an upgraded Zoom show from April of 2020. Instead, you're going to be leaping off, taking as your jumping point the excellent productions you did from March and before, translated and maybe rethought some for an eager, paying online audience. Now, your job is to wring out any of the costs in the production that you possibly can that don't contribute to achieving that high production value per dollar. Many producers have already created excellent shows on relatively limited budgets that, because of their content, still appeal to lots and lots of people and have major revenue generating potential or have actually generated major revenue. I'm not saying do it on a shoestring. I'm saying do it well, do it right, but do it smart. Start your planning by thinking about high production value per dollar. Okay, 3, you have to create a solid marketing plan. Strangely, this should be obvious, right? Strangely, some producers of online events in these early days of the medium have put in a lot of work on the show itself, a lot of work into setting up the streaming platform and the ticketing, and then kind of forgotten to do much marketing or much marketing planning. It's understandable because it's a new world, right? Well, in some ways, yes, it is a new world, and in other ways, it's pretty much the same. For any show to be successful, you got to get the word out there, and even if you don't have a ton of free cash lying around to do expensive, brand marketing, you can still be successful. Do you remember the first point I made about having an act or a show with a following? Well, this following, this core audience, should be the main focus of your marketing effort. People that like, love, and can't get enough of the people or the title in your show are essentially the cornerstone of your marketing plan. Of course, use all the lists and targeting tools at your disposal to reach them, but it's not just that. Duplicate them. Use all the modern online ad tools to find people like them all over the world. It's not just the people you know, it's the people that are like them that you can find all over the world. And that's the key. Because for the first time, live entertainment can be marketed to people anywhere. You're going to target people who resemble the core audience we talked about before, but you're going to do it absolutely everywhere you can. It's like a niche, but it's a global niche. Now you're also going to do, in addition to building on the core following and then duplicating it, you're going to also do what you always do, and that is work with your partners, all the people who normally make sales for you, whether that's touring venues, promoters, or just distribution channels, mailing lists, social media groups. You can easily cut them in on the action financially. Most of them don't have much to sell right now and are looking for good content to keep their patrons and their customers engaged, and you can give it to them, which is awesome. Not to mention a real opportunity for them to make revenue, which is more important than ever. Now, coming back to this idea of marketing, it's strange because just because it's online doesn't mean people find it automatically, though that seems to be what some people kind of believe. So you're going to take the production of the show seriously, of course. That's what we talked about in point 2. You've also got to take the marketing seriously. So point 3 is create a solid marketing plan. Okay, point 4. If you've done all that, you're setting yourself up for success. But one thing that can derail you is not knowing whether your tech setup is up to the challenge. That's why, point 4, you have to make sure you've got the proper tech setup and do a full pre-check. If you pick a professional grade streaming service like Stellar, you don't have to worry about having too many people show up and crush the system, because Stellar, like other top tier platforms, is built on the same platform as many of the world's largest streaming companies, so there's no sweat there. What needs to be tested and checked is how you'll be sending the show's content to Stellar. We'll keep this conversation non-technical, but there are a few ways it can go wrong, all of which can be tested in advance and usually either confirmed to be just fine or tweaked a bit to make them work. Most of the people I'm talking to don't need to worry about bandwidth, processing power, encoder settings, or the rest of it, but someone does. It's somewhat complex, but the people who work on this stuff, people like Richard, who's helping me right now, they understand it very well and know what needs to be done. Now, we at Stellar can provide a recommendation and a minimum checklist for most of the big issues, and if you like, we can support you with a stream coach to guide you through it, but however you do it, make double dog sure you know well in advance that your system is ready. Nothing brings a party to a halt like technical issues, so I cannot recommend enough a tech check or technical dress rehearsal to make sure everything is working just right so that people can enjoy the show you put together. Okay, if you've done all that, success is really in your grasp. You've got an artist or a show that people already know and love. You've spent money, but not too much money, to produce a professional, fantastic show. You've marketed it smartly, building on the show's existing following and your existing relationships, and you know for sure that the technology is going to work. What's left? Just one thing. Have a great show-going experience, and that's point 5. People come to an online event the same way they come to an in-person event. They're excited. They're looking to have a great time and experience the magic of live entertainment. And they might, occasionally have a question or two or even a problem, right? It happens. So what are the keys to this? Well, first, you want your ticketing to be smooth and easy. People should be able to get into the show easily and quickly while still having ticket security. They should be able to get help if they need it with front of house style service for their questions and resolution of their problems if they have any. Now, the show itself should not only be reliable, but with top quality video and audio to rival anything you're going to see on any other, well, really anywhere. Not only that, but they should be able to watch it where they like. Sure, some people, and they're out there, are going to watch a whole concert or theatrical production on a phone, but a lot of people are going to want to watch it in more of a lean-back experience, on a TV screen through Apple TV, Roku, or other of those kinds of players, and you want to provide that for them. And finally, a core of the show-going experience is making it fun and energetic. Pre-show chat and even during show chat has proven to be one of the most exciting aspects of online events. People routinely enter the stream lobby an hour before the start of the show start hanging out and chatting, and then you start to see the emoji-based reactions fly up the screen. You got your applause and high fives and hearts and so forth, and it brings the whole show to life, and it continues right through the show, and it's a surprisingly powerful part of the experience. And there's even more that you can do, like pre-show trivia, prize giveaways, and whatever else you can dream up. But the key thing is, just like with in-person events, you've got to deliver people a great show with a great show-going experience. Okay, so let's review our big 5 for online event success. 1, create your show based on an act or a title with an existing following. 2, make a budget that has high production value per dollar. 3, develop a sound marketing plan using some of the things that you already know how to do and you already have. 4, get your tech set up right and confirm it with a tech check or technical rehearsal in advance. And 5, finally, make sure you're providing a great show-going experience. If you do all 5 of those things, your event stands an excellent chance of success and of being a huge hit, which we hope happens. And if you'd like to know more or get our input on how to make this happen, just contact us and we'll be happy to help. We built our system during COVID for this, built to make you and your show a hit. But however you do it, wherever you go, whatever system you use, online events are taking off and the opportunities are massive and just beginning. Now, like anything, it takes some time and effort to get good, but if you follow these 5 steps, you'll be well on your way. Break a leg. Talk to you soon.